All right, let's talk about a story that's seriously shaking things up in the world of AI. We're talking genius-level math skills, a huge breakthrough coming out of India, and a price tag? Well, a price tag so low you'd think it was a typo. Let's dive in.
For the longest time, the story of AI has been about massive scale and even more massive costs. The best models, the ones that can actually think and reason, have pretty much been the exclusive playground for tech giants with billion-dollar budgets. So that brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Can that kind of power ever be affordable for everyone?
What if I told you that this, $499, was the cost to take a powerful base model and turn it into a brand new, state-of-the-art reasoning expert? That's the number coming from an AI firm in Mumbai called Fractal. But to really get why that number is so shocking, you need to understand the background.
Okay, so let's quickly set the stage. Why has cutting-edge AI been so ridiculously expensive up until now?
While the industry standard has been pretty simple, if you want an AI that can solve really complex problems, you need two things, and you need a lot of them: a gigantic amount of data and a colossal amount of computing power. This has created this huge barrier where only a handful of players can even afford to play the game at the highest level.
But what if there's another way? This is where the hero of our story makes its entrance. So meet Fathom R1. It's a 14 billion parameter model, which, just so you know, puts it in a really powerful class of AI. But the keywords here are open source and fractal. It's part of this amazing, growing wave of homegrown AI development in India. And because it's open, anybody can use it, look under the hood, and build on top of it.
And make no mistake, this isn't just some one-off project. The CEO of Fractal, Shrikant Vilamakani, says this is just a small taste of a much bigger vision. It's tied to this huge proposed initiative called Project Ramanujan as part of the larger India AI mission, which is all about building India's own large-scale reasoning models.
So, how'd they do it? I mean, how did they pull off top-tier performance without that top-tier budget? Let's get into the secret sauce. Instead of just brute forcing it with mountains of random data, Fractal was incredibly strategic. Think of it like a recipe with 3 key ingredients. First, they hand-picked a high-quality dataset of about 100,000 really good math problems. Second, they used something called curriculum learning. Basically, they taught the model the easy stuff first and then slowly made it harder, just like you teach a person. And finally, and this is super clever, they trained a few different specialized versions of the model and then merged all their strengths into one dream team model. The models build on a really efficient foundation, and it has a 16,000 token context window. Now, this is the perfect sweet spot. It's big enough to handle the long, detailed steps of a complex math problem, but it's not so massive that it becomes slow or super expensive to actually use in the real world.
Okay, a smart recipe and a low cost are great, but let's be real, the big question is always, how good is it, really? Time to look at the results. First up, let's look at the AIME benchmark. That's the American Invitational Mathematics Examination. It's tough. On its very first try, Fathom R1 scored 52.7% accuracy. And here's why that matters. That score puts it well ahead of other established open-source models like O1 Mini and O3 Mini. And that strong performance keeps going. Next up is another test, the notoriously difficult Harvard-MIT Math Tournament. Here, Fathom R1 scored an impressive 35.3%. Again, beating its peers and proving that its high performance was no fluke. But this next number, this is the real showstopper. 100%. Fractal put Fathom R1 up against the math questions from the latest IIT JEE Advanced exam, literally one of the toughest university entrance exams on the entire planet. And it got a perfect score. Now, for the sake of total accuracy, it's really important to clarify this result. The perfect score was on the 32 text-based questions from that exam that required an integer answer. It's still a mind-blowing achievement on a high-stakes, brand-new test. And honestly, this kind of transparency is exactly what you want to see when we're talking about a model's real capabilities. So, a cheap, incredibly powerful, and open-source model. What in the world does this all mean for the future of AI?
This quote from Analytics India magazine just hits the nail on the head. Fathom R1 isn't just a cool piece of tech, it's a statement. It's a signal that groundbreaking, cost-effective, and powerful AI is now happening outside the usual hubs, and that the global race for AI leadership is getting way more competitive and a lot more interesting.
So what does this actually mean for people? Well, for developers, it's a powerful reasoning tool they can actually run on their own machines. For researchers, the open source recipes are an absolute goldmine for new experiments. And for businesses, it opens the door to tackling complex analytical problems that, until now, were just too expensive to even consider.
And that brings us right back around to our central question. For years, elite AI reasoning has come with an elite price tag. Fathom R1 just completely flips that script. It leaves us with one final thought to chew on. What new inventions, what new businesses, what new scientific discoveries are suddenly possible when genius-level problem solving is accessible to anyone with a computer? The answer to that is something we're all going to discover together.